Hello and welcome back to Gapeys Garden. It's been a while. Happy New Year. I hope you're having a great start to the new year. I thought I would come on and give you a little tour of the garden. We've had a pretty mild winter so far this year. We still have a lot of things that are still alive that would normally be dead by now, but we've only got below freezing a couple days so far this season. So let's take a look and see what we have still going on in the garden. Let's start with our garlic bed over here. We've got a nice thick layer of leaf mulch over the bed, and we've got a fence around it to keep our chickens from rummaging through it. I'm kind of surprised that I'm not seeing any garlic sprouting yet since it's been kind of warm. I thought it would come up by now, but it's a little slow to start, so maybe in another couple months we'll start seeing some sprouts come up. Still have some cleanup to do in our in-ground bed over here. We've got some dead dahlia stalks and our coneflower there and another thick layer of leaf mulch. We do let the chickens in this bed since there's not really anything growing in it right now. So they like to rummage through that. We do have some kale in here that I have a fence around, but it's not really doing too much at the moment. Here's a look at the greenhouse. I really don't have much growing in here this year because we had the peppers in here so late in the season. So I've only got a few kale plants here. We've still got parsley. This is the latest. Parsley has still been around. Usually it's killed by frost by now, but it's still going. Some more kale over here, and I think that's a volunteer celery there in the corner. We've got a couple figs in here. These are the ones that I have in 7-gallon containers. If it gets really cold, I might move those to the shed with the others. We've got our rosemary in here. Hopefully it survives the winter. I usually have pretty bad luck with rosemary getting through winter. More kale, 2 different varieties there. That's a Bare Necessities kale in the back. It's like a really frilly kind of skeleton looking leaves on there. And I've got a bunch of other miscellaneous things in here that's just being used for storage since the figs are taking up all the room in the garden shed. Our thyme is still alive. That has made it through the past few winters. I've got a carnivorous plant here that's made it through last winter. And then we've got a couple more kales. And these are our sea kales that they die back in the wintertime. So hopefully you can see there's one sticking up right there, and they should come back in the spring. Most of our fall and winter crops are outside of the greenhouse. We've got some spinach and Swiss chard in this bed. Our celery is still alive, which is unusual for this time of year. We've also got some kale. This is a blue, dazzling blue kale here. We've got radicchio in this bed and some more lettuce and also more kale back there. And another Swiss chard. This one is really pretty. This is my favorite one that I grew. So this was started actually in the spring and it's still going through. We've got some garlics. So this is a cross between a leek and a garlic. So it's actually more, you use it more like you would a leek. More spinach, more kale, and another Swiss chard. Our blueberries are still under netting, which I really need to probably remove that. That's just to keep the birds out when the blueberries were producing, but they are long done now. I just cleaned out this bed. This is where the asparagus is. So I trimmed out all of the dead asparagus branches, and we should get some nice new asparagus come up in the spring. I also put down a layer of compost in there. We've got some scallions here that are pretty much probably done. And then our mint and lemon balm that I need to cut back. And we have a thin bed that runs along the chicken run here. We still have sweet alyssums that have not died back yet. Those should die back if it gets too cold, which it probably will at some point. I've got a beet. This has been in the ground since I think last spring. So that thing is probably ready to harvest. More alyssum, and the chickens do nibble on the alyssum a little bit. Which is fine because there's so much of it. And then we've got some more kale in here. And then this is a volunteer mustard plant doing really well. And the chickens are nibbling on that as well. And They like nibbling on things. So they are not allowed in this garden space area. We've got this fence all around this area to keep them out. And that is pretty much all we have going on in the garden right now. We'll see how long this warmer weather lasts, but it's not been too bad. We have been getting lots and lots of rain though. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.